Hey there, fellow dudes. Parker and Becky back with another episode of Secret Invasion. This time we're watching episode 4, Beloved. We've gotten halfway through the series now. How are you feeling about the show?
You know, normally when the shows on Disney Plus are only 6 episodes, I'm sad. But I'm happy that this one's only 6 episodes. We're halfway through and I'm not invested. I feel like they're still trying to figure things out and I'm just not happy with where we're at.
I feel similar. I want to preface, we're not hating on this show just to hate on it. We just, at least for myself personally, I just feel disappointed in the show. I think I had expectations of where I wanted it to go and what I expected from it, and it hasn't necessarily delivered. Not to say that there haven't been good story moments, that there haven't been promising story beats and sequences throughout. I just think the overall product hasn't been as engaging and as entertaining as I would like. And like Becky said, I haven't been invested in the characters in ways that I've been invested in other Marvel properties and other shows. I think if you think of another recent Marvel property that came out with Guardians of the Galaxy 3, you felt the emotions for Rocket in that movie, and you aren't getting that same illicit response with Nick Fury, with some of the other supporting characters.
Yeah, it's weird because I like a lot of the characters, but I just feel like I don't have as much care as I thought I would have, especially with your lead character being Nick Fury. He's so strong, so I think I just expected more from it because of having such an iconic character as your main character.
But you know what? We've got 3 more episodes to go. It might turn into the right direction for us, personally.
Like Boba Fett.
Yeah, but when Boba Fett turned into Mandalorian Season 3. Who knows? Maybe Mando's going to show up in this episode.
Wouldn't that be something?
But no, in all seriousness, I hope we enjoy this episode, and I hope that some really exciting and shocking things happen. So I think with that being said, why don't we jump into this episode?
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. Episode 4, Beloved.
I feel like I'm an evil villain right now. Oh yeah, she died.
But did she?
Theoretically.
I told you she didn't die. There's no way. Oh, did she give herself superpowers? That little rascal.
That's pretty clever.
I'll say it's clever the way they brought her back, but last episode, the emotional weight wasn't there for her to die.
I wish she would have woken up like this at the end of the last episode, and then here we get the explanation of why she's waking up.
Now she's a ghost. Not even Gravik knows that she's alive.
I'm wearing my Skrull green today.
I see that.
Unintentionally.
Paris. Remember the guy from the first episode? Paris. His voice. Why do so many of these episodes start with Nick Fury going into some type of bar or restaurant?
Look, it's a restaurant, not just a bar.
All the news coverage of those guys.
Remember at the end of the last episode, she took that gun out of the safe deposit box. So let's see what happens here. Oh, well, this is 2012 though.
And
So nothing.
If it was someone you know.
Wouldn't surprise me. Because if he's the man I think he is, he has a powerful sense of righteousness. That home is worth fighting for, and that the weak are worth protecting.
Good book?
It's a collection of poems. You familiar?
More of a history guy myself.
It's called Late Fragment.
How's it go?
Actually, it's a conversation between 2 people. You read the first line.
And did you get what you wanted from this life? Even so?
I did.
And what did you want?
To call myself beloved. To feel myself beloved on the earth.
Something about angelic voices that just gets me in a good mood, you know?
They're gonna scheme in church.
Must be choir
Fury was
practice.
fired a couple of days ago.
Who goes and watches a choir practice?
Yeah.
Except somebody's mom.
The priest is going to turn around. Excuse me, close practice. This is a private rehearsal.
No, I'm sorry, correction. I DDT'd that dude from the top rope.
If it was you, if it was Gravik, then why does he need me?
What Gravik needs, what Gravik doesn't need, that's none of your concern. I'm the one telling you to kill Fury. One of the two occupants of that lovely country manor of yours is catching a bullet today.
This is Brody, a Skrull.
He's broken. He's been broken ever since he came back from the blip. Oh, the old Fury. The one with power, the one with ability, the one who was indispensable to us. That Fury's gone. We don't need to kill him.
You keep telling me what you're not gonna do. I'm gonna show you what I am going to.
Did he tap her phone or something?
Probably.
That was not consistent with his character.
Well, I think he's a Skrull. He clearly aligned with Gravik.
Hey, remember, we want him to think it's the Russians.
I see what you're
Make
saying.
it big.
The show keeps telling us, though, that this is like a Nick Fury of old and he's not capable of the things he's done in the past. But I feel like he's been doing everything he's done in the past. It keeps telling us that, but it hasn't really showed us. Like, unless, am I missing something, you think?
I am sorry.
I don't think
And I don't
so.
need your sorrow, or the only thing that I need from you is a plan. What is your plan for finding our people a home? Because Gravik has already implemented his, and it works.
We take down the insurgency. You, me, Fury. Once that's done, we go to the president and we have a big bargaining chip. Give me a little something in return that I can secure an amnesty for the 1 million of us to remain.
Don't you want to live in your own skin?
Gaia, we're a people without a planet. We depend on the goodwill of our hosts. Show them our hearts.
I feel like that's not a very good plan. No matter how hard you try with people, they just don't change their minds.
Didn't think you'd be home until later.
Surprise.
Didn't think you were going to be
What's the
home
matter?
till later.
Finger swell up? You're not wearing your wedding
Just
ring.
kidding. She's not going to kill him.
Of all the dumbass, wrong-headed
I like the framing of the
reckless
mask behind her.
things I've done in my life, you are by far and away the greatest mistake. I lost all my reason to be your husband. I ignored every signal in my head, heart, and body that screamed, stop! Even now, as I sit here knowing you plan to kill me with that pistol of yours, I don't know that if I had a chance to do it over again, that I'd do anything different.
Nice family dinner.
Would you tell me the story about how you chose her?
Dr. Priscilla Davis had a congenital heart defect. She was keeping it a secret. Didn't want the people she loved gathered around for months, watching her die in a hospital. I would visit her in her room almost every day towards the end, and we became quite close. I had to acknowledge the truth of what I was actually doing there in the first place.
Which was?
Looking for someone who would slip your defenses.
Ah, so you were playing the long game on me even then.
Don't do that, Nick. One day the doctor came in and told me that it would be just a matter of hours. I decided to just come out and ask.
You asked?
I asked if she wanted to fall in love. And I told her about you. She made me make her 3 promises. 1, that I would bury her at sea, which I did. 2, that I would continue to be a daughter to her parents.
Which you've also done. 3.
That I would never hurt you. Sorry, darling.
Good performance.
And did you get what you wanted from this life? Even so?
I did.
And what did you want?
To call myself beloved.
To feel
Myself beloved on the earth.
I'm not sure if this means we should get divorced or we should renew our vows. They'll be coming for you.
I'm a big girl. I could take care of myself.
Wow.
My
That might have been my
God.
favorite scene of this show so far.
That was really good.
Would you have loved me if I'd never changed? If I'd been my true self?
Doesn't answer.
Guess we'll never know.
Guess I don't need to worry about shampoo. Conditioner.
I don't know. I feel like that skin needs to be moisturized.
There it is.
You're right.
Oh.
So is it a Skrull pretending to be him, or has he been a Skrull his whole life?
I sure hope he's been a Skrull the whole time.
That would be wild. Like, everything he's been in, he's not actually
Fury,
him.
what the hell?
We're probably gonna find out some more
Tell
right
me
now.
what the hell you're doing in here?
I didn't like the way we left things between us the other day. Well, let me tell you, if you waste one drop of this family reserve, I guarantee you, your ancestors will reach out from the beyond and strangle your black ass.
I love his one-liners. No one can deliver a one-liner quite like Sam Jackson.
There are scrolls inside the U.S. government.
What is it again? Skrulls in my security detail, Skrulls in the U.S. government. They're just Skrulls
I have it
everywhere.
on. Is a scroll mold very close to the president.
Wow, really? How close?
As close as you and I are right now. Closer.
That's a wild story.
Ain't it now? All you got to do to keep my mouth shut about all this, give me my job back.
You mind if I make a counter?
My counter offer, I kill you.
And that's you.
You and I both know that's Gravik.
At your trial, the alien defense. No, Your Honor, that's not me. That's a 6 foot tall, bald, black, one-eyed extraterrestrial. Good luck with that. I'm gonna do everything in my power to protect you, to keep this video and, you know, all the copies that I made under wraps. But I can't have you running around spouting wild conspiracies. Now, tell you what, why don't you hobble your ancient ass on out of here before I have you defenestrated?
Oh, he's mad.
Oh yeah.
Welcome to England, Mr. President.
Correct.
I really hope the president is a Skrull.
Colonel, can I ask you something?
Absolutely anything, sir.
Did you pre-game for our bilateral with the Russians with the half a bottle of bourbon? Let's make sure the Colonel here has a large coffee for the road.
I pre-gamed before I met with the Russians too, I think.
Gotta ease the nerves, jeez.
I'd definitely make sure I'm pre-gaming with some vodka though.
So they respect you.
Yes. Uh-oh. Oh, here he comes. Blow up the car of the president. Right there.
Who needs Secret Service when you got Nick Fury and a Skrull?
That's all you need, baby. One Skrull, one Nick Fury. Oh, I like that shot. That's cool.
He's insane. So do you think that, you know how like in an earlier episode, it almost sounded like Gravik was like below somebody? Like somebody was controlling him? It must be our War Machine Skrull.
Maybe.
How the hell, Fury? It's a kill zone.
Whole planet will be a kill zone if we don't save Richard.
Move!
Fury's here.
So those guys who are dying on Gravik's side, should they be turning... Oh, he's got Groot's powers.
How'd he get that, though?
With the machine.
Yeah, but, like, he just gets to choose whatever he wants. I would imagine you have to, like, pull DNA from that super.
Well, they might have gotten DNA from something.
Fury? Cover!
No, I saw on the computer screen back in the second episode, it had Groot's name on it.
Oh, yeah. That's what, of all the people... That's the power you go with.
I mean, he's kind of like a Mr. Fantastic with his elastic abilities, you know?
I wouldn't pick him either.
Now!
Alright, fair enough.
I'd pick somebody that, like, has some kind of cool abilities. No!
Give him superpowers, quick. See how when he died, so I would assume all the guys that are with Gravik right now
Yeah.
are Skrolls.
But
So should they not be turning back into Skrolls when they
probably,
die?
but I don't think they really kept on them long enough to see.
No, hold your fire. He's with me. He's with us.
Wow, that's
Interesting.
intense makeup
I
right
know,
there.
interesting to see him, like, halfway.
That's pretty interesting. That was a big story beat right there because Gravik saw that kind of shows that humanity can be willing to accept.
Hang in there. I'll be back for you. Put him in my car. I got my own ride. Come on.
Just very casually strolling through that war zone right there with the president.
I said, put him down now.
Oh my. It's like the superpowers from that guy from Iron Man 3. He seems to get away so easily. Wow. Wow, quick episode.
Yeah.
Well, because it was so short, it moved quickly. Nice pace to it. Felt like every scene kind of had some legitimate weight to it.
Yeah.
Not to say that every scene hasn't had a purpose, but each scene felt really weighted.
Mm-hmm.
The scene with Nick and his wife at home where they both shoot the wall, that might have been my favorite scene of the show so far.
I really liked it. It finally felt like they're like one and the same.
Yeah.
Like, you never imagined Nick Fury married, but if he was going to be, it'd just be a female Nick Fury, and you kind of got that from that scene.
Yeah.
Like, she is female Nick Fury.
I think part of the problem up to that point in this episode is there wasn't a lot of screen time with the two of them together. You didn't really get to see their relationship. They had that flashback sequence in the 90s and then a couple small interactions in the household.
Yeah, it was
but
mostly flashbacks.
they didn't really delve into the romantic aspect, the relational side of things too much. And this episode focused on that a bit more. Obviously, the beloved readings. And I felt that. I was like really emotionally connected to that. And the tension in that scene and the way they shot that and the cutaways from when the gunfire goes off.
Oh my gosh.
That was brilliantly done. That was a really great scene.
I was ready to find out who died. I didn't
know.
expect, like, both of them to be alive.
Yeah, that was.
And when they first show they first show her, and you see that he's hit, like, when he shot, it hit the wall, and you're like, oh no. And then it's like, he's also alive.
Yeah. That was a good scene.
I like that.
Obviously, we should talk about the other big bombshell in this episode. Skrull War Machine, Skrull Brody.
Yeah, I have a lot of questions. Every time they uncover something and like reveal something, it's like I just have so many more questions. And not in a good way.
Well, hopefully they answer them. It's good for them to raise questions as long as they're going to answer them in the upcoming episodes.
Yeah, that's fair.
But I loved it. I love that. And this is like, that is what I wanted this whole show to be.
Yeah.
And like, I have a feeling that this is probably the only type of reveal that we're going to get. Mm-hmm. And it's the MCU's way of doing that, because the MCU's not going to be like, here come 6 of our superheroes and we're going to make them all Skrulls now, surprise. You know, they just picked one and they're like, all right, War Machine. He's been a Skrull.
So you're convinced that he's been a Skrull the whole time?
I'm not convinced, but they haven't showed any reason why, like other reason for us not to think that.
I just am interested because I feel like, especially in like this episode, but like a couple of these episodes where we see Brody, he's like, feels different than he has in the other movies. And I just thought that was because of, up to this point, I thought it was just because like they seem kind of all over the place with their characters. But I'm wondering if maybe he's feeling different because he's a Skrull in this, but like that's not
I don't know.
the sake for the entirety of the MCU.
Well, we have 2 more episodes to find out that answer, and if they don't answer that, then I'm going to assume that he's just been a Skrull the whole time. I liked the reveal of him officially becoming a Skrull. I thought that was a nice, reveal,
It was so subtle.
So subtle.
I thought we were watching like Gaia.
Yeah,
I thought we were going back to her, and then I was like, what?
I think that was the intentionality of the edit as well, because it just went from kind of her scene with her father and her walking away and talking about like wanting to live in their own skin.
Yeah.
And then it goes to that shower sequence and you're like, okay, she's having a moment in her own skin.
And there's very few people who we've seen in the show, like very few Skrulls that we see in their Skrull form. Most of them we've seen as part of like this group of Graviks, but we see them in whatever human form they've taken. Yeah. So there's very few that we actually see in Skrull form. So it was like, oh, this could only be like one of 2 or 3 people.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh.